I'm Josh George. College football predictions coming after this. Anyways, I'm Josh George, and once again, it is week 12. We have college football picks on the way. We're going to start with a game in the SEC in Jordan-Hare, Georgia, at Auburn. I think this could be a really good game. I think it's going to come down to quarterback play from and Nick's, two really great quarterbacks and two really good coaches in this one, Kirby Smart and Gus Malzahn. This is one of the closest rivalries in all of Division I football history. Georgia currently leads the rivalry 59 to 56 with 8 ties. And Georgia has won 5 of the last 6. You know, there's a lot to analyze, but Auburn, coming off a bye, is kind of what made the decision. I went with Auburn with the extra week to prepare, and the fact that they're at home, and I just feel like it's their turn to win, making the rivalry 59 to 57. I've got Auburn winning by a final score of 24 to 20. Now to a big rivalry game in Big Ten country. It's certainly the biggest rivalry in the state of Michigan, as Michigan takes on Michigan State. I think it could be a good game. Historically, Michigan leads the series 70 to 36, but in the Harbaugh era, 2-2. The Wolverines are against Michigan State. But last week, Michigan State got Lovie Smith as he got the Fighting Illini Bowl eligible. And when I saw some of the highlights of that game, looked at some of the statistics, Michigan State did not really look all that impressive. And Michigan has an 84.2% chance to win this game according to the FPI. I went with the Wolverines in a defensive struggle, 17 to 10. Nebraska at Wisconsin. Big Red Nation needs to get this one for the program, it seems like. You know, this is one of the first time Nebraska has gone into the year without a 5-star player of any kind. They still ranked 24th in the 247 talent composite, but they don't have any 5-stars according to the 24/7 talent composite. They are, however, ranked number 1 in punts blocked. So if they can block a punt, might give them a huge chance to win. I feel like they're going to rely a lot on their defense and special teams. Huge key. Of course, we know the key for Wisconsin is running Jonathan Taylor and playing great defense. They're still number 1 in total defense and number 1 in third down defense, and number 3rd in touchdown scoring defense. So I like the defense. I like Jonathan Taylor. I've got the Badgers over the Huskers, 24 to 16. Now, the Hoosiers are 7-2 going into Penn State, who got upset. Now, Indiana's a kind of team that can row the boat as well, as you could say. They just find a way to get wins. They are 7-2, but their losses are bad losses. They lost 51-10 to Ohio State and 41-31 to Michigan State. And they're 10th in fumbles lost. That's a negative statistic if you're a Hoosiers fan. And I just feel like Penn State's going to be on their best game. Coming off a loss, I feel like James Franklin's going to get them ready to play. I've got the Nittany Lions 46, the Hoosiers 21. Now, Iowa hosting Minnesota. Talk about a gut check of a pick. PJ Fleck has got this team rowing the boat. And it's kind of fun to say. You know, they're a good team, you know. They get wins. They're on the road at Iowa. Can they get another win? How will Nate Stanley play? A lot of question marks. How will Nate Stanley play for Iowa? A lot of question marks on both sides. I feel like I went with the home team. Minnesota, you've got another chance to prove me wrong. I've got Iowa 24, Minnesota 23. Alabama. Now, this game comes down to how have these teams looked over the last 6 games. Alabama has lost 1 game of their last 6. That was against LSU. Mississippi State has won 1 game of their last 6, and that was to Arkansas, who is one of the last teams in the SEC. Now, the cowbells will be loud. Mississippi State will certainly give their best effort to Alabama. Alabama also giving their best effort, coming off a loss. Will they get to Tua? I don't know. I think that they're going to hold Alabama to 40, so to speak. I have the Tide 40, the Bulldogs 9. Now, Navy at Notre Dame. This is going to come down to Ian Book needing to make plays. I really, really think so. Because currently, Notre Dame is 64th in rush defense. Now, they lead the series against Navy 76-13. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Notre Dame. But if the option offense gets going and Navy controls the game like I think they will for much of it, they're going to win. But I think Ian Book can find a way to lead at least 3 touchdown drives and win the game for Notre Dame. So I've got the Irish 21. I've got Navy 17. Now, Cal Berkeley, California, hosting USC in another rivalry game, this one has been dominated by USC. USC leads the series 70-30. And last season, they dropped this one 15-14. USC, an up and down team. Clay Helton on the hot seat. He needs this one if he's going to be the head coach of the Trojans next season. So for Clay Helton, I'm picking USC 24, California 20. Big rivalry in the Big 12 down in Texas. 2 4-5 teams going at it. TCU at Texas Tech. The Riff, the Ram, the Bazoo. What you gonna do, TCU? Gary Patterson is 4-5 against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, kind of one of those up and down teams. They've lost to Kansas, but maybe back on track after a big win against West Virginia. They looked good in that one. Their points per game for Texas Tech is 32.2. Points per game for TCU, 31.6. Now, TCU's defense ranks 25th in total defense this season, and Gary Patterson is the mind that counts, really. He's one of the best Big 12 minds as far as defense goes. So, this time I'm going with the Gary Patterson. I've got TCU 20, Texas Tech 17. Now, you see I've got this one going to overtime. That's my bonus pick for this one. I've got the score 30-30. Now I'm going to tell you why. And who's going to find a way to get it done in overtime? The team with the fewest penalties and the best turnover margin gives themselves a chance to win. Wake Forest ranks 3rd in turnover margin. Third in fewest penalties per game. They rank 10th in turnover margin. Clemson ranks 27th in turnover margin. Clemson ranks 4th in total defense, 2nd in total offense. And they're at home. This game also features, in my opinion, the team with the 2 best wide receiving cores in the ACC. I really think Wake Forest is going to give them a great game. They lost to Virginia Tech. They lost the turnover battle against Virginia Tech. They ride the ship. I think they're going to win the turnover battle. That gives them a chance in this one. But I'm not going to pick against Clemson against an ACC opponent right now. I just don't think that they've got quite the talent of Clemson. To the Superdog / upset pick of the week here. Missouri again. They They did not do it for me last week. Maybe they do it for me this week. Here's why I've got Missouri hosting Florida. In their last 2 meetings, Missouri has won by a combined score of 83-3. Their average win is a 50-point win against the Gators in the last 2 meetings. Now, they're in Missouri, and it's got a good spread for me. I went with Missouri to beat the spread. The game of the week. The Sooners go down to Waco to face the Bears of Baylor. Could be a really good game. OU's defense is on a downward trend. They allowed 48 to Kansas State and 41 to Iowa State. The last time before these 2 games that they had allowed 30 or more points was against Houston at the beginning of the season. After that, the defense seemed to look really good. Alex Grinch, they looked really good on 3rd down. They were finding ways to get off the field. Now, missed tackles and the lack of turnovers is really showing up and starting to hurt the Sooners. Baylor's defense has looked solid. It's one of the reasons that they're what I call a find-a-way team, because they will find a way to win. Their close wins include an 8-point win to Rice, a 2-point win to Iowa State, a 3-point overtime win against Texas Tech, a 3-point win against West Virginia, and a 6-point overtime win to TCU. And really, if you've watched some of their games, just about all of them have looked close, especially all of their conference games. I think Brewer's going to have a good performance. I think he's going to find a way to score. I think he can put up 30 points. But will it be enough against Lincoln Riley in what he calls Championship November? I went with the Sooners 38, the Bears 30. I'm Josh George, Week 12, College Football.